Namo Narayanaya, welcome back. Today we're working on chapter 17, Maharaja Prthu becomes angry at the earth. I don't know if we'll make it through the entire chapter or not, but let's see how long my voice holds out. By diving right into this. So, the great sage Maitreya continues his narration. In this way, the reciters who were glorifying Maharaja Prthu readily described his qualities and chivalrous activities. At the end, Maharaja offered them various presentations with all due respect and worshipped them adequately. King Prthu, thus satisfied, and offered all respect to all the leaders of the Brahmanas and other castes, to his servants, to his ministers, and to the priests, citizens, general countrymen, people from other communities, admirers, and others, and thus they all became happy. Vidura then inquired from the great sage Maitreya, "My dear Brahmana, since Mother Earth can appear in different shapes, why did she take the shape of a cow? And when King Prthu milked her, who became the calf, and what was the milking pot? The surface of the earth is by nature low in some places and high in others. How did King Prthu level the surface of the earth, and why did the king of heaven Indra steal the horse meant for the sacrifice? The greatly king, Maharaja Prthu, a great saint, received knowledge from Sanat Kumara, who was the greatest Vedic scholar. After receiving knowledge to be applied practically in his life, how did the saintly king attain his desired destination? Maharaja Prthu was a powerful incarnation of Lord Krishna's potencies. Consequently, any narration concerning his activities is surely very pleasing to hear, and it produces all good fortune. As far as I am concerned, I am always your devotee as well as a devotee of the Lord. Please, therefore, narrate all the stories of King Prthu, who in the form of the son of King Vema milked the cow-shaped earth." My dear Vidura, at the time of King Prthu, when he was enthroned by the great sages and brahmanas and declared to be a protector of the citizens, there was a scarcity of food grains. The citizens actually became skinny due to starvation. Therefore, they came before the king and informed him of their real situation. "Dear king, just as a tree with a fire burning in the hollow of a trunk gradually dies up, we are drying up due to the fire of hunger in our stomachs. You are the protector of surrendered souls, and you have been appointed to give employment to us. Therefore, we have all come to you for protection. You are not only a king, but the incarnation of God as well. Indeed, you are the king of all kings. You can give us all kinds of occupational engagements, for you are the master of our livelihood. Therefore, O King of Kings, please arrange to satisfy our hunger by the proper distribution of food grains. Please take care of us, lest we soon die for want of food." After hearing this lamentation and seeing the pitiable condition of the citizens, King Prthu contemplated this matter for a long time to see if he could figure out the underlying causes. Having arrived at a conclusion, the king took up his bow and arrow and aimed them at the earth, exactly like Lord Shiva, who destroys the whole world out of anger. When the earth saw that King Prthu was taking his bow and arrow to kill her, she became very much afraid and began to tremble. She then began to flee, exactly like a deer, which runs very swiftly when followed by a hunter. Being afraid of King Prthu, she took the shape of a cow and began to run. Seeing this, Maharaja Prthu became very angry, and his eyes became as red as the early morning sun. Placing an arrow on his bow, he chased the cow-shaped earth wherever she would run. The cow-shaped earth ran here and there in outer space between the heavenly planets and the earth, and wherever she ran, the king chased her with his bow and arrows. Just as a man cannot escape the cruel hands of death, the cow-shaped earth could not escape the hands of the son of Vena. At length the earth, fearful, her heart aggrieved, turned back in helplessness. Addressing the great opulent King Prthu as the knower of religious principles and shelter of the surrendered, she said, "Please save me. You are the protector of all living entities. Now you are situated as the king of this planet. I am very poor and not committed to any sinful activities. I do not know why you want to kill me. Since you are supposed to be the knower of all religious principles, why are you so envious of me? And why are you so anxious to kill a woman? Even if a woman does commit some sinful activity, no one should place his hand upon her. And what to speak of you, dear king? You are so merciful, you are a protector, and you are affectionate to the poor. My dear king, I am just like a strong boat, and all the paraphernalia of the world is standing upon me. If you break me to pieces, how can you protect yourself and your subjects from drowning? King Prthu replied to the earthly planet. My dear Earth, you have disobeyed my orders and rulings. In the form of a demigod, you accepted your share of the yajnas we performed, but in return you have not produced sufficient food grains. For this reason, I must kill you. Although you are eating green grass every day, you are not filling your milk bag, so we can utilize your milk. Since you are willfully committing offenses, it cannot be said that you are not punishable due to your assuming the form of a cow. You have so lost your intelligence that despite my orders, you do not deliver the seeds of herbs and grains formerly created by Brahma, and now hidden within yourself. Now, with the help of my arrows, I shall cut you to pieces, and with your flesh satisfy the hunger-stricken citizens who are now crying for want of grains. Thus, I shall satisfy the crying citizens of my kingdom. Any cruel person, be he a man, woman, or opulent eunuch, who is only interested in his personal maintenance and has no compassion for other living entities, may be killed by the king. Such killing can never be considered actual killing. You are very much puffed up with pride and have become almost insane. Presently you have assumed the form of a cow by your mystic powers. Nonetheless, I shall cut you into small pieces like grain, and I will uphold the entire population by my personal mystic powers. At this time, Maharaja Prthu became exactly like Yamaraja, and his whole body appeared very angry. In other words, he was anger personified. After hearing him, the planet Earth began to tremble. She surrendered, and with folded hands began to speak as follows. O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are transcendental in your position, and by your material energy you have expanded yourself in various forms and species of life through the interaction of the three modes of material nature. Unlike some other masters, you always remain in your transcendental position and are not affected by the material creation, which is subject to different material interactions. Consequently, you are not bewildered by material activities. My dear Lord, you are the complete conductor of the material creation. You have created the cosmic manifestation and the three material qualities, and therefore you have created me, the planet Earth, the resting place of all living entities. Yet you are always fully independent, my Lord. Now that you are present before me and ready to kill me with your weapons, let me know where I should go to take shelter and tell me who can give me protection. In the beginning of creation, you created all these moving and non-moving living entities by your inconceivable energy. Through this very same energy, you are now prepared to protect the living entities. Indeed, you are the supreme protector of religious principles. Why, then, why are you so anxious to kill me, even though I am in the form of a cow? My dear Lord, although you are one, by your inconceivable potencies, you have expanded yourself in many forms. Through the agency of Brahma, you have created this universe. You are therefore directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are not sufficiently experienced cannot understand your transcendental activities because these persons are covered by your illusory energy. My dear Lord, by your own potencies, you are the original cause of the material elements, the performing instruments, that being the senses, the workers of the senses, all those controlling demigods, the intelligence and the ego, as well as everything else. By your energy, you manifest this entire cosmic creation, maintain it, and dissolve it. Through your energy alone, everything is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest. You are therefore the Lord, the cause of all causes. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My dear Lord, you are always unborn. Once in the form of the original boar, you rescued me from the waters in the bottom of the universe. Through your own energy, you created all the physical elements, the senses, and the heart. for the maintenance of the world. My dear Lord, in this way, you once protected me by rescuing me from the water, and consequently your name has been famous as Dharadhara, he who holds the planet Earth. Yet, at the present moment, in the form of a great hero, you are about to kill me with sharpened arrows. I am, however, just like a boat on the water, keeping everything afloat. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies, composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and what to speak of your pastimes? Thus everything appears to us to be contradictory and wonderful. And thus ends chapter 17. Did make it through. So, feels to me like this is a chapter advocating for capital punishment. It was an interesting line that said, even if a woman does commit some sinful activity, no one should place a hand upon her. That's not a ruling today. Actually, anyone who thinks that's amazing and they're also promoting feminism and equality, that's contradictory. I mean, this is kind of interesting. It's sort of like if a woman wants equality, then she has to be punished for crimes. So you get the good and the bad, but that's probably a whole other video. There was something here I really wanted to pinpoint that I really liked, and it's just a passing line. Here it is. Verse 12. After hearing this lamentation and seeing the pitiable condition of the citizens, King Prthu contemplated this matter for a long time to see if he could find out the underlying causes. That's a great line. For two reasons. One, he spent his time looking for a solution. He didn't rush a solution. He didn't gather around, all right, everybody, get together and tell me what you think. We've got a deadline. He took his time. Sometimes you need to take your time for things. I follow politics and news like an addiction, actually. And I swear sometimes politicians rush out to do things because they have a deadline. Or they want to manipulate or do something or get people, or they don't think things through. Other times they see the complete opposite, where they spend so much time thinking that the problem gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and they're like, we can't handle it. Because they should have actually done something versus nothing. So it's this fine line. The other end of this phrase, though, is the part I really like, where it says he was going to search out the underlying causes. It didn't say anything about him just manifesting grains. It didn't say anything about him telling everyone, well, let's get together and see what we can do, maybe please the rain gods. He wasn't looking for a temporary solution. He was looking for the cause of the problem. Because if you fix the problem, you don't need temporary solutions. I say this all the time. I'm always arguing this point that society likes to put band-aids on things. They don't necessarily want to look for the underlying cause. I see this a lot in medicine. I used to live with this family, and it was mom, dad, and their daughter, who was in her last years of high school. Their son was off to college, so I stayed in his room, and then uncle and aunt moved in, and dad had stress. Like, this is a guy where if you walked into the room, you could feel the stress in the air. He just exuded stress. I mean, he just was the most stressed out person I've ever met in my life. And his attention span was really narrow, and he smoked and whatever. And went to the doctor, and the doctor went, we have to do something for you. You have some skin condition, but we're afraid you will have a heart attack on the operating room table. Because your blood pressure is so high that even though you're not even 60, you could have a heart attack any day. So this guy, who was kind of like a father figure, friend for a few years, about 3 years, he said to the doctor, and he told me this when he got home from the doctor, he goes, well, what should I do? And the doctor goes, well, remember last year when you went to the gym a few days a week? Your blood pressure wasn't high. Remember last year when you didn't go out drinking numerous times a week? Your blood pressure wasn't high. Remember when you weren't smoking? Your blood pressure wasn't high. So stop all those things, and your blood pressure will go down. and you'll be fine. Because that's part of what's causing this. And you're drinking, you're smoking, and you're way out of shape, and you've got extra pounds, and your body's not healthy, and any mental things that you got are just being exasperated by that. You still might be stressed, but there's nothing here physically to ground you. So my friend, he said to the doctor, yeah, I don't want to do any of those things. Can you give me a pill? And the doctor went, well, I can, but you only have low blood pressure when you're on the pills. And you're probably going to have to take these pills until the day you die if you don't want to stop all these other things, which could potentially lead to your death. And so my friend was like, okay, I got it. I see what's causing the problem, but yeah, just give me a Band-Aid instead. So he did. He went on pills. He had this whole bag of pills he had to order, and they got kind of expensive, I remember. And he just popped pills so he could continue to drink and smoke like a chimney and a fish and however else we describe these things, and not getting any exercise and eat whatever he wants, and because he didn't really want to solve the underlying problem. Fast forward a little bit, after I'd moved away and kind of lost contact, he was in the hospital. One of his kidneys started to fail on him. I think his brother gave him a transplant, or maybe he didn't, or something, or he was going to survive on one kidney, but he was forced to stop drinking and stop smoking. If he had stopped and looked at the underlying problems, he'd be in much better health now. Funny how that works. You may know other examples that may even be better. You may know people, you may have situations in your own life when you didn't fix a problem and it just got worse and worse and worse. And to the point where you kind of just then had to bail out of the sinking ship. You know what I mean? So I loved reading that little bit where it said the underlying problem. He thought about the underlying problem. He didn't think about the side effects of the problem. He didn't put a Band-Aid on the problem. Maharaja didn't do a temporary fix. He thought about what is causing the problem. What a great politician. We don't have politicians like this anymore. I swear. I look at a lot of politicians on the news, as I've said, and they seem to just be about Band-Aids until election time. They don't really care. They don't think long term. They don't think solving the problem today means we have no problem tomorrow. Now, of course, they don't want that, because that problem tomorrow is how they agitate people and get votes. Alright, I'm going to stop this video here because I'm getting long with my rambling storytelling that I sometimes do. But that's the way it goes. Anyways, next time, next chapter, what is that, 18? And we will see where this story goes as we work our way through Canto 4. And as always, thank you for watching. It is much appreciated. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.